Hello, beautiful people. So let's talk about time expectations with belly dance. So a lot of you aren't even starting to belly dance, even won't take a class, do it sporadically, do it whenever you have time, think that it's good for like a future date. All of these reasons come up that prevent you from actually getting started that have to deal specifically with time. And I want you to just consider that they're just reasons to stall you getting started, because it's a thought about the expectation that you have of what you think it should look like. So let me give you an example. I have talked to many of you who have asked me the specific question: if I only have 15 minutes a week, is that enough time to belly dance? Or how much time do I need to belly dance in order to get this goal? Or how much effort should I put in order to get there? The question that you really want to be asking yourself is, am I willing to create consistency with my effort? Am I willing to show up on a consistent manner and keep the promises to myself when I put it in my schedule to belly dance? This is really the question you want to ask yourself when it comes to time, because it doesn't matter how much effort you put into belly dancing if it's not consistent. Because if you put in 1 hour this week and then you wait 3 weeks and put in 2 hours, that's not going to help. It's just not. It's not the way the body works. It's not the way the brain absorbs information and really gets you into this habit of creating this strong neuronal pathway between your body and your brain of how to belly dance and how it can get results from keeping this consistent and persistent activity going. So it's not about just the effort, right? And it's also not about necessarily time. It's not about okay, I need to put in an hour here, and then I need to put in 3 hours over here, and then, okay, I can only do it if I put in 30 minutes. It just doesn't work that way. So if you're in that thinking of how much time is it gonna take me? Is this enough? I want you to start letting go of those questions, because that is coming from a place of expecting that there's a certain number that you need to be doing in order to get the result, or that you can't get started unless you have that time available. It's just not true. So this is what I want you to really start to take on instead. So this is what you're telling me and more. I'm gonna keep talking about all the things I hear you guys say, because I know that one of them resonates with you, right? Is I don't have time. I can't do it as much as I'd want to. My schedule changes. I hear that one a lot. My schedule changes, I can't stay consistent. All of these reasons pop up, but really what the problem actually is this thought of this expectation that you need it to look a certain way. What I really want you to focus on with your thought work is, how can I stay consistent? What do I need to do to be consistent in order to get what I want from belly dancing, to get a toned belly, to get movement in my body, to feel feminine, to feel empowered, to have a positive relationship with my body? What do I need to do consistently? Who do I need to be consistently to show up there? And so when we have this time expectation over here, we're not asking the right question that really will pull from us the thing that will actually pull us forward. So this is how you stay consistent. You start small in task and in time. So let me give you an example. Recently, I started going back to the gym. I love weightlifting. I love weight resistant. I love body resistant exercises. I just love keeping mobile. And especially if you're in a similar boat as me, where I've had multiple children, I have been overweight most of my life until later adulthood. I've had body pains before. I'm now 40 years old, right? I'm going into this different experience with my body than, when I was 20, when I didn't have children. I was very overweight then, but I didn't have children then. I didn't have body pains then. And it was 20 years. I was half the age I am now. Oh my God, is that crazy to think about or what? Anyway, so I am thinking of like, okay, when I go back to the gym, how do I stay consistent? Who do I need to be to keep coming to the gym and weight lift and do all the things that I love? Because I love belly dancing and I love weight resisting. So if you're wondering why I go to the gym still, even though I belly dance, is because they are two different forms of exercise that you can get two different sets of results from. I love them both. I do it. Both. I do both of them. And one of the things that I had to get my mind around, because I had so much resistance to starting, because I was like, I have to be there for an hour and I have to do this and I can't keep consistent and all these excuses that I just told you, I told myself, this is how I know, because I did this before in other time periods of my life too. Like, I had to let that go and ask myself, how am I going to stay consistent? Because I want this as a lifelong journey for me and I want to be in this to actually succeed. So how am I going to stay consistent? Who am I going to be? I told myself I need to start small, in task, and in time. And I drove to the gym with the expectation of you need to do 5 minutes on the treadmill. That's it. Or actually it was 5 minutes on the stair machine because I wanted to work out my ass because I love a big booty. So I was like, I only need 5 minutes. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my 5 minutes, and I'm done. That's it. That's all I expect of myself, is to go 5 minutes, 1 time a week. So I started small in time. I said 5 minutes, once a week. I would show up and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to practice showing up for that. Then I did 5 minutes, 3 times a week, because it didn't feel like such a big stretch from there. Some of you may need to go from 1 to 2 times, then 2 to 3, right? So I went from 1 to 3. So then I was like, I'm just gonna go to the gym and I expect myself 5 minutes. I literally drove to the gym expecting a 5-minute workout. And then I was like, you do that, you are complete, you kept your word, you showed up, I am consistent. I drove home. Now, here's what actually happened. Did I go to the gym? Yes. Did I expect 5 minutes? Yes. Do you know what ended up happening? I ended up working out for 10 to 15 minutes. Did I leave after that? I did. So although I ended up doing more, it didn't matter. I still only expected 5 minutes until I got really consistent in being consistent. That means I showed up for multiple weeks. I think it was like 4 weeks, 5 weeks that I showed up to the gym for 5 minutes and then I left. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to change it now to 10 minutes, maybe 15. No, I changed it to 10. I did 10 minutes. This is what I'm talking about. Start small in time and in task. My expectation of myself was not lowered, but I set myself up, and I heard this from this coach. She's a self-discipline coach. Her name is Monica. And I can't remember her handle on Instagram, but she talked about think about planning your day on your worst day. How would you plan that day? And I was like, on the worst day, I got 5 minutes in me. That's it. Maybe sometimes it's 2, but I'm gonna make it 5, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So when you guys are expecting to do belly dancing for 30 minutes or an hour, multiple times a week, when you never have put that time aside before, what ends up happening is when you don't meet that, you automatically think that you're failing, that you're already behind, that you were supposed to do it and then you didn't, right? And then you put that pressure on yourself and it just becomes not fun anymore. And when it's not fun and that pressure sets in, you know what ends up happening? You either quit or you stop showing up, right? Like mentally. Maybe you follow through the actions, but you stop showing up mentally and you stop showing up physically. So that's what I'm saying. Start small in time and in task. Do you have 2 minutes to dance 1 time a week? Then you start there and you practice meeting that 2 minutes every single time. So some of you may be like, are you serious? 2 minutes? I'm going to sign up for online classes with Samantha to only dance 2 minutes a week? Yes. You know why? Because what you're really teaching yourself is to keep your promise to yourself, to be consistent, and to get started and not give up. It hasn't worked for you before, right? To expect this high bar of showing up, of like this like hour a week, 3 times, or an hour 3 times a week, that hasn't worked. What's gonna work is how you can start to see these mini wins along the way, this 1% progress along the way, and showing yourself, I can do this. So what I'm helping you do is not just learn belly dance, but I'm teaching you the skill of being consistent, the skill of being disciplined, the skill of keeping your promises to yourself. And that, my friends, is valuable. It is priceless, because when you can say to yourself, I'm gonna do this, and then do it, that is winner, winner, chicken dinner. So think about your time expectations with belly dance, and think about the fact that how are you using your expectations against yourself that keeps you in a way of not being able to even move forward because you already think you're gonna fail, versus how can you use your time expectations of yourself to compel you forward, to be consistent, to have the discipline to show up and keep your promises to yourself, right? So I want to invite you to check out my online belly dance classes, because I teach you the skill, and especially if you need help with doing this, I help you do that. We take it step by step. I tell you mindset. We have mindset videos with every single class, so that way you understand, like, oh, okay, 1%, small steps. What's the one thing I'm going to take away? If I have 5 minutes, that's it. I even teach you how to schedule your time in the membership platform, which many of my members have used it and used this approach to help them stay consistent and reach their goal and get the result that they want by dancing versus not dancing or sporadically dancing. So check out my online membership. I want to help you get there. Check out the description below. Check out the link in my bio. It's all there for you, SamanthaKarim.com. Reach out to me with any questions that you have. I want to help you get there. Let's let go of these time expectations that are holding you back versus creating a time expectation that pushes you forward and closer to your goal. I'll see you next time.